Okay fellas, now it's another day and I'm just going to put the flashing on the western side of this carport. I just thought I was looking at this, see this rotten bit here, and can you see where there's a rotten bit right in line with a checkout, because the top part was the only part that had any strength, so I thought I'd better put a bit of wood over that. So there was a piece of wood spanning from there to there, and it was just a bit of scrap. It was used in the Cranbourne acro prop. So what I've done is I put a checkout here, and I've drilled 4 holes up this side and 4 holes up this side, and I've measured out where the rotten bit is. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it up here to span that, and just put 8 bolts in it. Now the complicating factor was I've got this bit of flashing here. As you know, I'm putting flashing over there, which I suppose realistically what I'm doing with it is I'm using it as high quality paint, because the flashing is on the outside to protect the timber, so it's virtually paint. Now that bit of flashing is 3 metres long, so if I go from there to there, I had to position the acro prop so that it's supporting it before I drill these holes, because I want some of the load to be taken before I drill the holes, and that needs to be out of the way of the flashing. So we'll sally forth. Okay, as you can see, I've just taken the G-clamps off, and I don't know what you can see with this sun, it's shining right into the camera. I've got 2 bolts there on the top, and the bottom 2 aren't put in yet, and 2 bolts there. The reason being, I've got the 4 top bolts in. I've got to cut a bit of a rebate out the flashing for around this area, and it's only going to come halfway, and they should come under the top flashing, those bolts, so they don't need to be flush. But I've got to put the flashing up before I can drill the other 4 bolt holes. You'll see in a minute. And I'm not quite sure what's going to happen up that end, but I'll work it out. Okay, now I'm just doing a bit of tin work on this flashing, and I was actually using my curved, can you see that they're curved? My curved tin snips, and I was remembering back to my days in second form sheet metal with Mr. Woodford at Williamstown Technical School. And as you can see, because there's fall on the roof and those rafters are not parallel with the ground, see how we wound up with a tapering angle here? So I used a bevel square to mark the line, and I just thought it would look neater against the pole. And I was just cutting this off, and I was just seeing how that coil curls. Now, a lot of people think that curved tin snips are for cutting circles or something like that. I don't know if I can do it, but what they do is they give you they coil it up, whereas if you had straight tin snips, once you've gone past the length of the blade, you really can't go any further. And these things, if you use, as you close them, you have a sort of that motion, and then close, and then close, and then close. And so you can cut a straight line, but the swarf curls up out of the way. I'll try and show you, but I don't want to muck up my job either. So as I'm closing, and we'll get another bite. So I don't know if it's in the shot or not, but the coil comes up, whereas if you were trying to do this with straight, it simply wouldn't work. But I thought that might be useful to somebody. Okay fellas, well I've trimmed that piece up there, and as you can see I've mounted this bit of flashing I put this one up first because the water runs downhill, and so the other ones have to mate together. Now, as you can see, originally when I designed this, I never designed to have this patch here, and so that's why I had to cut out a bit of relief for those bolt holes at the top, but the bottom ones are fine, and that looks quite nice. Now I'm in the process of, before I make this second piece of flashing, I do want to put a bit of something up around here, because you can see the top of that post is exposed to the water, and water running down there is going to decay that pretty quick. There's a bit of end grain Oregon there. So what I'm choosing to do is I'm cutting out, I'm not sure what you can see here, get where the light's a bit better. My arm's not really long enough, but I've got this piece of aluminium flashing. It's annealed and it's only 0.9 aluminium. Well, actually, let's go up and I'll kind of roughly, I'm not going to bend it to suit, but it's, you can see there's a couple of bolts here that I tightened up, and this is going to go something like that, and you can see what's going to happen here. I don't know if you can in the glare, but anyway, okay, so it might possibly be a bit easier to see what I'm trying to do here. So you can see there's going to be flashing that comes here, and if you look around here, oh, what can you see? Sorry, so I've got this folded up under here now, so you can sort of see, I'll bend this back, like I need a bit of silicone, and yeah, I think I've got to take a couple of cuts out of here and there, but I think that looks pretty reasonable, doesn't it? We'll keep the water out anyway. I'm not doing anything here for looks. This is just to make it work. So, Sally 4. Okay, so I'm just about to knock off for the day. So what have I got here? I've got some metho, I've got some plain flour, I've got a rag. I always like to keep you guys guessing. I'm trying to find something to clean the silicone off my hands. I've just come up from the roof, and as you can see, I've just put the silicone gun down, and of course, have a look at this. Invariably, I've cut myself because I'm working on tin and I'm not a sheet metal worker, and you know, you end up with silicone all over your hands. Now, last time I tried cleaning myself up with penetrine, and it actually worked reasonably well. Now, penetrine is an Australian product, I think, but it's essentially half and half acetone and ATF, and that actually did work. But what I'm gonna try today is I'm gonna dust myself with plain flour and just rub and see if that absorbs it. Like diatomaceous earth would probably work as well. And then after that, try some metho, or methylated spirits we call it in Australia. In England, I think they call it white spirit. And in America, what do they call it? Rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. It's actually slightly different than isopropyl alcohol, but it's close enough. Now I need 2 hands for this, so I'll tell you how it goes. Okay, well I'm pretty pleased with that. See, I haven't done the metho yet. You saw how much plain flour there was, and look at on the ground. So I made a bit of a mess, but if you look at my hand now, can you see what I wanted to show you? See there? Like, my first thought was to use diatomaceous earth, and I thought, who's got that laying around? But plain flour is something that would be in every house. And I think it's most of it, 90% of it is gone. And I think a bit of metho. I'll keep you posted. Okay, fellas, well, I'm really impressed with myself. This worked really well. So we got all the flour on the ground, and you can see I've put the metho away. And initially I cleaned my hands with an ordinary cotton cloth, but I found a piece of toweling was better. So if you look at my hand now, there's no silicone on it. It's much better than yesterday. Now yesterday I used the penetrine. WD-40 might be better, but I doubt it. This worked really well. I can't think that any product in the world would be better. And plain flour and metho are both cheap and easily available. So yeah, look at those fingers. That's beautiful. I'm going to go and wash my hands with soap and water now. But it is the best solution for getting silicone off your hands. And so, yeah, rub the plain flour in like it's diatomaceous earth. Oh, and then I wiped it off with a cloth before I put the metho on, because that seemed to get a lot more off, and it transferred the silicone then to this cloth. And then I washed my hands with the metho, or methylated spirits, and then I used a piece of toweling to clean that off, and I think it's a really good solution. So I'm pleased with myself. That is the best way to get silicone off your hands as far as I'm concerned. So I'm as happy as a fat spider. So I reckon I've kicked a goal. I've worked out something by myself. How cool is that? All right, bye-bye.